Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
The Olive Tree Community Center in Lloydminster is getting funding from the city for its Home Base program. The Home Base program is a housing-first approach to addressing the unhoused population in the city. The Olive Tree requested the funds for the program back in October last year, where council had to wait for a completed housing needs assessment study before being able to give them funding.
Folks may be looking to social assistance or the services through social services in Alberta or Saskatchewan. They help facilitate the application, ensure that all the paperwork is done. The Olive Tree then helps with food and getting them settled into their home.
The money is intended to be used for a caseworker position set to cost $60,000 over the next 3 years.
The Olive Tree asked last October was they came forward and asked for support for one of those workers to help facilitate this process. In essence, the money won't go towards someone paying their rent. It's helping get the connections and the people in place.
Since the program's inception last year, 22 clients are now being supported in housing, 19 are in the process of being housed, and 35 are on the wait list. Now here are your agriculture prices for today. Now that we are fully into spring, many people are heading out to the links and working on their game. In this week's edition of Golf Tips, our Callum Hawker spent some time at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Centre to play a hole with the local pro.
Back with another day of golf tips and with Marty Wheaton, the head golf pro here at LGCC. And Marty, beautiful day today. We're pretty lucky and we're on hole 1. You said it's kind of a challenging hole for some golfers. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think the design of the hole is very good, where it really pinches in at most people's driving distance. So there are some strategies involved, and obviously being the first hole, you want to kind of get the day started off right. So for me, I kind of take my 200-yard club, my 5-iron. I'm looking to hit to the wide part of the fairway up the right side. As you can see, the left trees kind of block your access to the approach shot. So that's the strategy off the first tee.
Perfect. Okay, Marty, I'm excited to see you, show it off here and, be the pro you are.
Sounds good. So we did get off to a good start with our first tee shot. Something simple, about 200 yards off the tee box, but you can see that we have a clear lane to the hole up the right side. So for the second shot, the strategy is to play to the strength, which is going to be the wedge game. So I'm going to hit a 6-iron, try to get to about that 100 yards out. So second shot wasn't hit as solid as I would like, but we're still in good position here, 124 yards from the green. So playing to our strengths, getting off to an easy start for the first hole. So we got 124, I'm gonna hit gap wedge. So for a third shot, the goal was to just get to the middle of the green. Got a bit of a sucker pin here where there's no need to go for it and short side yourself. We have an opportunity at birdie. The goal here is to 2-putt, walk off this green with a par. So we gave her a chance at birdie there, just happened to run it by, but it's a pretty comfortable distance for par, and we'll go ahead and finish it out.
Many golfers struggle on this hole, yet Marty played it like a true pro and came out with a par. Catch us again next week for another day of golf tips.
Abby St. John is back in now to take a second look at our weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Leanne. We're currently sitting at 12 degrees. We saw quite a rainy and gloomy day out today, and that unfortunately is going to continue into this evening. We are expected some more rainfall this evening and into tomorrow as well. So we are expected to have some rain showers tomorrow morning. 19-kilometer-per-hour winds currently. In Alberta, 12 degrees out in Edmonton and Rocky Mountain House, 15 in Red Deer, 14 in Jasper and Cold Lake, 9 in Athabasca, 12 in Whitecourt, and 7 in Edson. And in Saskatchewan, 16 in Meadow Lake, 14 in North Battleford and Prince Albert, 13 in Mount Ford, and 17 in Saskatoon. If we head up north in Saskatchewan, 9 degrees out in Uranium City and South End, 8 in Stony Rapids and Wollaston Lake, 12 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, and 7 out in Flin Flon. And in Alberta, 6 degrees in Fort Chipewyan, Peace River, and Grand Prairie, 7 in Slave Lake, 10 in Fort Mac, and 5 out in High Level. Down south in Alberta, 24 in Medicine Hat, 21 in Lethbridge, 14 in Calgary, 11 in Banff, and 8 out in Coronation. In Saskatchewan, 14 in Kindersley and Swift Current, 17 in Moose Jaw, 18 in Regina and Yorkton, and 22 in Estevan. Overnight tonight in North Battleford, we'll drop down to 8 degrees and expect some windy conditions, 20-kilometer-per-hour winds. It will be quite mostly cloudy skies, and there is an occasional rain shower late this evening predicted. In Cold Lake overnight, expect rain showers overnight tonight as well. Low of 5 degrees, 17-kilometer-per-hour winds. And then more overnight temperatures across the region. 8 degrees in Meadow Lake, 6 in Bonnyville, and 7 in Provost, Isle La Crosse, and Paradise Hill. All expected some rain showers overnight tonight. Isle La Crosse only about 25%, so it will remain quite cloudy. But for the rest of the region, expect some rainfall for this evening. More overnight temperatures across the region. 5 in Murnum, 7 in Pierceland and Unity, 6 in Wainwright, and 3 out in Calgary. And again, expected some rain showers overnight tonight, except in Murnum, expect just low clouds in the sky. Overnight tonight here in Lloydminster, we're also expecting this rain to continue. Like I said earlier, it will continue into tomorrow. We will drop down to 6 degrees with 15-kilometer-per-hour winds. And then over the next 7 days, it's not looking too sunny out. We are expected some cloudier conditions into next week. High of 9 and a low of 3 for tomorrow. And again, we're expected some rainfall in the morning and kind of early afternoon as well. Saturday also expected some rain. It will be quite cool with only 7 as the daytime high and a low of 2. High of 7 also on Sunday with a low of 0. We are expected some rain showers in the afternoon. And then on Monday, we're expected some more rain and drizzle with a high of 6 and a low of 1. On Tuesday, expect some morning showers with a high of 10 and a low of 1. On Wednesday, a high of 11 and a low of 2. A cloudy and cooler day. And then we warm up just a tad on Thursday with a high of 16 and a low of 4. So we're expected some cloudy and rainy conditions for pretty much the next week, especially heading into this weekend. And also we're expected some cooler temperatures as well. So definitely make sure you haven't put away your coats or your sweaters because you'll definitely need them. But as a final look at your evening weather forecast, we'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today, I'm happy to be joined by Morgan Mann, the head coach of the Lakeland Rustlers women's hockey team, and we are here today to talk about the Junior Rustlers program, which is a 12U and 14U team that will be coming to Lloydminster coming up in the next hockey season, and their tryouts are coming up this June, and so thank you so much for joining me today, Morgan.
You bet.
All right, Morgan, so let's talk about this team and how it's a little bit different from most minor hockey teams that are happening here in Lloydminster for this Junior Rustlers team.
Yeah, it's 2 teams that are entering the FSL, the Female Super League. our role is with the Lakeland College Rustlers. Our hockey club is we're lending them our branding and our name, and we're looking forward to the opportunity for our players to be able to have some mentorship opportunities with the young female hockey players and helping to grow female hockey in Lloydminster area.
And so, with this being a 12U and 14U female hockey team, talk to me about some of the benefits that bringing teams like this to Lloydminster for female hockey and growing the game, as like you guys are especially really big with that, with how much the game has grown with the introduction of the women's hockey team for the college here in Lloydminster.
Yeah, we're through it now with our kids. With minor hockey, but selfishly and for our neighbors and where we are, I actually live just on the Saskatchewan side of the border out in the country, and so our kids, even though everything we've ever done growing up is in Lloydminster. As a young person, I was a Lloydminster minor hockey player. My work life and all hockey's been in Lloydminster. But our kids were, if they wanted an opportunity to play elite hockey, were mandated by the provincial government or provincial hockey boards to have to travel to North Battleford for that opportunity, unless you were willing to move to Lloyd or get property or had to play the political game of it all. And so I currently have a neighbor right now. She plays U13 hockey and had to travel to Battleford 3-4 times a week. I think it's a bit much. And so for people out in our community or the neighboring communities of Hillmond, Paradise Hill, Ashburn, it allows those people to still have that choice to be able to not have to travel an hour and a half, 3 hours a night, hour and a half there and back, to be able to have a hockey right here in Lloydminster, which is their home trading community.
And so coming up at the beginning of June is the tryouts. And so can you talk to me just a little bit about all the things that are going to be happening at those tryouts and who they can get in contact with if there are some highly motivated hockey players here in Lloydminster that want to try and join the team?
So Ambrose Furcus is the lead in this team and these two teams. That date's now evolving a little bit. We're finding that maybe on the weekend that it's tough for families or young hockey players that are they're now young ball players or playing other sports. So we're looking at if the opportunity to maybe shift that to something that works through the week, to try and make it work for families. So our role, and that's again how we'll be involved, to help facilitate their tryout camp and host that for them, and then through the winter, hopefully have our players join them for some practices and some different team building opportunities, and think that will be a good experience for our players as well.
All right, perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the information, Morgan. It was a pleasure to have you on once again. And be sure to keep an eye out for more information about the Junior Rustlers coming up over the next few weeks.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
I have a very special guest joining me today on Primetime Local News. All the way from the United States of America, Jack Burnett is here, the managing editor of the Old Farmer's Almanac. Jack, thanks for joining me.
Stacy, my favorite person. Great to be. It's always great to be in Lloydminster, one way or another.
I appreciate you saying that today, Jack. And we want to talk about what's going to be happening as the farmers start seeding. We've had a couple of days of pretty decent rain here, so we have some puddles, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to carry on through the month of May. So what is the Farmer's Almanac, the Old Farmer's Almanac, saying for the month of May when the farmers get into the fields to start seeding?
Well, we're looking for the rest of the month. We're really actually looking at it to be pretty favorable. It's going to be a lot of partly cloudy, whether, there's going to be moisture around. Some of it will, precipitate out. It's not going to be like big rainstorms, but it's going to be, we see the next, 10, 12 days, something like that, as being, I'm going to say wet, or I should say moist or damp, so it's not like going to be hot and sunny and nothing happening up there. We think it's going to be like a good rate of moistening, for our soil, as if we could use that term.
And now, what about heading into summertime? I know that forest fires are concerned, and people like to have sunshine, but we don't want it to be, a crazy hot summer with no moisture. So, for the months of, heading into June and July, August, Jack, what are we looking at weather-wise?
Well, it's interesting. Well, we're looking, when we look at the Old Farmer's Almanac Canadian Edition forecast for this summer and even into next fall. So it's 5 months, right? June, July, August, September, October. All of the temperatures we look to be above average. And all of the moisture levels, we look to be below average. So that actually, though, when, on closer inspection, actually sounds worse for growers than it is, For example, we see, our overall forecast for June, as far as precipitation goes, for the prairies is about 15 millimeters below average. However, that itself is an average of what we're forecasting for the eastern prairies and the western prairies. So in fact, where you are right on the border, we're actually looking for you to be slightly above average in June. So, I mean, the other part is below average more than you're above average. But
Right.
so sometimes it's important to look at the details, which is what we do when we put together these forecasts. And when I speak with nice people like you, I try to do a little dive, into like, wait, where's this coming from? So we're looking for the next 5 months to be a little bit warmer. We're looking for the fall we're looking for the next 3 months, June, July, August, to be a little bit warmer than normal. We're looking for the fall to be kind of a lot warmer than normal. So that's not bad at all, And similarly, while we're looking for the next 3 months to be below normal precipitation, to a moderate amount, still the moderate amount is not a huge amount. It's like 20 millimeters less, for a month or something like that. So that's not huge. When we get into the fall, we're going to see the dryness be even less. So what we're looking at here, we get into like late August, September, get into the fall harvest, it should be like fantastic conditions, should be dry, should be warm, be out driving the tractor in your undershirt, or whatever.
So it
So
sounds like things are going to kind of balance out almost. And when you do mention the warmer temperatures for the summer, Jack, are we talking like over 40 degrees, do you think? Or when you say, more than normal, around that 30 mark, or is that too tough to really kind of nail down?
well, actually, what I wrote down was, let me see if I can look that up really quickly for you. It looks, for example, in June, we're looking for it to be 1.5 degrees above normal. So let's see what that actually boils down to. So we're looking at that to be around 16 degrees. So
Right.
that's not anything to go crying to mother about. Um, so, and that's one of the things that I think many people realize, perhaps some don't, which is that um, when we're talking at the Old Farmer's Almanac Canadian Edition about um, deviations from the norm in temperatures, we're never talking about 5 degrees, or we're talking about half a degree or 3/4 of a degree. In our world, that's still above normal or below normal, but in the real world, on the farm or in the garden or on the ball field, wherever, it's kind of like, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. No reason to panic.
Well, Jack, I appreciate your explanation and as always for you taking the time to join us. Thank you so much for your insight, and we will chat again with you later in the summer to see how on track your predictions are. We're going to challenge you this time.
Uh-oh. Happy to. Right? Yeah, it's always great to be with you, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Jack. Have a great day.
The Edmonton Oilers and Vancouver Canucks will be back on the ice tonight for Game 5 of their second round series. The teams are deadlocked at 2 wins apiece, but Edmonton comes in with that momentum, winning Game 4 with just under 40 seconds left on the clock. Both teams are expected to be icing replacement goalies again tonight. Vancouver due to injury and Edmonton due to performance.
Yeah, that was a very stressful game with goals happening at the last 30 seconds. It was very stressful, but I mean that's the same. A lot of the games in these series are ending by 1 goal, and it's not just our series; it's every other teams as well. So it's going to be a tough playoff for sure.
Yeah, lots of good hockey being played. And that is all the news that we have for you tonight. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good evening.